All right, today we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to pull back the curtain and break down a real-world income strategy that I use, focusing on ServiceNow stock. It's a systematic way to try and generate consistent cash flow, and we're going to walk through exactly how it works step by step.
So, let's start with a big question, one I think every investor asks at some point. How do you get your stocks to work for you? Beyond just buying them and hoping the price goes up. How can you turn a stock you already like into an engine for recurring income? That's exactly the puzzle we're going to solve today.
And the answer, the tool for the job, is a really powerful technique called the wheel strategy. Now, don't let the name intimidate you. At its heart, it's a pretty simple two-part system. You start by selling something called cash-secured puts, and if that results in you owning the stock, you just pivot and start selling covered calls. The goal the entire time? To collect cash or premium at every single stage of the process.
Okay, so here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we'll cover the big picture strategy and what we're trying to achieve. Then, we'll dive deep into Phase 1, the secure to put, and look at the two ways that can play out. From there, we'll jump into Phase 2, the covered call, and finally, we'll see how it all clicks together to create what's basically an ongoing profit loop.
All right, let's get into it. The main goal here isn't just about catching a huge price jump in ServiceNow. It's more about trying to generate a steady, predictable stream of income by selling options. Think of it as collecting rent on either your cash or your stock, all while strategically managing the price where you get in or out.
So how does this whole thing kick off? It all starts with Phase 1, the cash-secured put. Now, I love this analogy. Think of it like you're setting a trap. You're basically getting paid a fee upfront for just agreeing to buy a stock you already like. But here's the kicker. Only if it drops to a price that you've already decided is a bargain. You're setting a price trap and you're getting paid while you wait.
Okay, let's look at the actual numbers for a real trade. We're selling a put option on ServiceNow. The strike price, that's the price we're agreeing to buy the shares at, is $81.50. And for making that promise until May 1st, 2026, we get paid an upfront premium. In this case, we're aiming for somewhere between 40 and 50 cents a share. Since one contract is 100 shares, that's 40 to 50 bucks straight into our account.
Now, here's the most important part of this whole phase, the cash-secured bit. It means what it says. To make this deal, you have to prove you can actually follow through. So since one options contract controls 100 shares at $81.50 each, you have to set aside $8,150 in your account. This isn't money you've spent, it's just sitting there, backing up your promise.
So you've made the trade, you've collected your cash, now what? We fast forward to the expiration date. On May 1st, only two things can happen. And which path we go down depends entirely on one thing. ServiceNow stock price compared to our $81.50 strike price. And this slide lays out those two paths perfectly. Outcome number one, the stock price stays above $81.50. Great. The option just expires worthless, you keep the entire $50 premium, your $8,150 of collateral is freed up, and you can just run the same play all over again. But if the price drops below $81.50, we get outcome 2. You get assigned the shares. All that means is you make good on your promise and buy 100 shares at that price. But think about it, your real cost is actually lower. If you collected 50 cents a share, your true cost is $81, not $81.50. Of course, the risk is if the stock tanks, you're owning it at a loss for a bit. But if you wanted to own it anyway, you just got it at a discount, and now we move to Phase 2.
Okay, so you've been assigned the stock. You now own 100 shares of ServiceNow. Welcome to Phase 2 of the wheel. The mindset completely shifts now. We're no longer getting paid to buy the stock. We're going to get paid while we own it. And we do that by selling covered calls.
The new game plan is super simple. We take those 100 shares we own and we sell a call option against them. This gives someone else the right to buy our shares from us, but only at a price we set, the strike price. And here is the absolute key. You always pick a strike price that's above what you paid for the stock. That way, if your shares get sold, you're locking in a profit. And just like before, for selling this option, we collect another cash premium. The goal is to do this over and over.
And this is where it all clicks. This is why it's called the wheel. You've created a system, a continuous loop that's always trying to generate income. It doesn't matter if you own the shares or if you're just waiting to buy them. The wheel just keeps on turning.
This little diagram here visualizes that cycle perfectly, right? You start at step 1, sell a put, collect cash. If you don't get the stock, great, go right back to step 1. If you do get the stock, you just move to step 3, sell a call, collect more cash. If the stock doesn't get sold, no problem. Stay on step 3 and keep collecting that premium. But if it does get sold for a profit, you're back to cash and you loop all the way back to the beginning to start the wheel again.
So, what's the grand finale? The big exit from owning the shares happens when the stock price rallies and blows past the strike price on your covered call. Your shares get sold automatically, and you get a fantastic double-dip profit. First, you get the capital gain from selling the shares for more than you paid. And on top of that, you get to keep all the little premiums you collected from both the puts and the calls all along the way.
So when you put it all together, there's a really clear trade-off here, right? This strategy offers a systematic way to try and generate consistent income. But, and this is a big but, it is not a set-it-and-forget-it kind of deal. It takes active management. You have to pay attention. So the real question this leaves you with is, for your own goals, is that potential for steady income worth the hands-on effort it requires?
And that's a wrap on our breakdown of the wheel strategy using ServiceNow. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you've found this useful at all, do me a favor and hit that like button, and definitely subscribe for more explainers just like this one. I'll see you in the next one.